The company MediaKicks estimates there are between 3 and 38 million influencers in the world. That number varies depending on several things: the category of influencer, the social media platform, and how different their content is. Tonight, we have one of those influencers here with us to examine why her videos make followers click. Valeria Hinojosa has over 205,000 followers on Instagram. She describes herself online as an earth activist, holistic, vegan, and a Latina. Thanks for coming on The Why.
Thank you so much for having me. Very excited to share all this with you.
Yeah, so the word influencer often presents this idea that you pose somewhere with a fun background, put a filter on it, and you get paid. You say that is not the case, and it takes a lot more than that. Why?
It all depends on the type of influencing that you want to do or the type of content creation. But in my case, I focus on sustainability. So it's an entire process whenever you choose to work with a brand, from making sure that the brand aligns with your values. So we have to make sure that it's vegan, sustainable, fair trade before we actually agree to work with that brand. And then comes the content creation part, which is all about production, because nowadays people like videos more than pictures. So it's the filming, the editing, the captions. I like to write very long captions to make sure that my audience can connect with what I'm sharing. And it can take all the way from probably like 2 to 3 weeks and even a month to be able to create this content.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, obviously we're in the news business, so we know, what it takes to produce high quality storytelling and the writing and the editing and all that goes into it. So, it is interesting to hear how that translates over when it comes to these marketing campaigns. I do want to give our viewers just a bit of, some of the content that you post on your Instagram page. Let's watch it.
Okay, let's talk makeup. Many of you have been asking me about the products that I use every day and how I did my own makeup for my wedding. So here I'm going to share a tutorial. En español les voy a compartir hoy un tutorial sobre mi maquillaje, la marca que utilizo a diario y cómo me hice mi maquillaje para la boda, yo solita.
In English and Spanish and showcase the brand. I mean, how much time do you have to invest to have a successful social media following, actually make a living out of being an influencer?
Well, right now, in my case, it's a full-time job. Part of the story, I used to be a private banker, left that world behind. And I know that people think that being an influencer is very easy. Like you said, people assume that we just take pictures and post them on Instagram, but it's much more than that. It's about the message that you want to share with your audience. And one of the things that I'm learning after 8 years of having this as my full-time career is being able to spend more time focusing on my mental health, prioritizing my mental health, because social media can be very overwhelming sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I try to limit the amount of time that I spend on my phone or on my computer, trying to see it as a 9 to 5 too, now that we have that freedom and you have your own agenda, but also try to build a routine that is healthy for your job and also for your mental health.
I want to ask you, why do you think followers and fans listen to what influencers share online? Because they really do.
I think depends on what type of influencer. I always say this. Okay. Social media is a very powerful tool if we use it wisely. The beautiful part of it is that many content creators and influencers are sharing things in an authentic way. And they're being very transparent, whether it's a brand or it's an experience or a hotel, because I used to write about eco-friendly hotels too. You're sharing things as you're living them. And I think that's why it's very easy for people that are following you to connect with you, because they get to say, if she can do it, I can do it too. I mean, she's just a human that grabbed her phone and started creating beautiful content. And I think it brings some hope to everyone watching. And it's also a nice way to relate to like-minded human beings. I mean, we're all humans, we're all face and feel different experiences in different scenarios, but they're all very similar at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what unites us, and that's what gives people the opportunity to connect with whoever's sharing content online.
It's about the connection, I see. So, I mean, based on your experience with the engagement and reach you can create when promoting something online, is it worth it for companies to spend money on you? I know that sounds very like, oh, we're at a pitch meeting, but, what do you say in those meetings?
I think that was the hardest part, and I think that's something that most influencers struggle with. at the beginning, I didn't know how much to charge. I knew that I was spending so much time creating this content. And then I think my banker side kicked in, and I was like, I need to start seeing this as a career, not only as a hobby or something that I'm passionate about. And nowadays, it all depends on your reach, your engagement, the level of press that you receive, and also the topics that you're talking about, and if you're becoming an expert in your field. So something that we've gotten to see a lot, and now I have a team that helps me with that, with all the tech part, is seeing the conversion of every click, and if people are actually, whether it's buying a product or supporting the brand, or actually following these amazing brands that are reshaping industries. But we get to track that nowadays, which makes it very rewarding.
Why do you think companies find success in running a campaign with micro and nano influencers, you know, those everyday people versus the big celebrity names?
I think it's the fact that we get to connect. Again, we were talking so much about connections. So it's very easy for people to see micro influencers and think that they were a human that they can relate to. When it comes to celebrities and I guess people that have so many followers on social media, they feel that we feel that they're unreachable, and that in a way we label them as perfect. I don't really believe in perfection, but we do. And when it comes to micro influencers, we get to see, especially those that are sharing their authenticity on social media, we get to connect with them because they share even their mistakes and everything, their struggles and everything that they're doing. So in a way, it's very easy for us to say, if that person is sharing their lives on social media, if that person is taking steps to become a better human on a daily basis, I can do it too. And I think that's what makes it very easy for us to start following them and connecting with everything that they're sharing on their platforms.
That's why they're so influential. Valeria Hinojosa, thank you so much for joining The Why.
Thank you so much for having me.